Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today I'm in Whiteville, North Carolina, visiting Vann, Underwood, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, and I'm checking out a 2018 Jeep Wrangler in the Sport trim level. So this is a very, very basic two-door Wrangler with just a few options that we'll go over in detail later on in the video. So let's go ahead and check it out. This Wrangler is sitting on 245/75 Bridgestone tires, wrapped around 17-inch steel wheels with a matte black finish. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated rotors in the front and solid rotors in the back. The name of this color is Bright White Clear Coat, and it's pretty much a standard white color, which helps out in this particular case with the video showing the trim around the vehicle. So the flat black fenders, and you can see the handles there on the hood are black. And then it has this filler plate right there. I noticed some of them doesn't have this particular piece. It's open. And the headlights are halogen powered. Reflector for your headlights and fog lights, standard bulbs for your turn signals as well. Now it also has the tow hooks here on the top of the bumper, easy to get to, and the bumper cover is a durable plastic. So looking at the profile, you see it has little vents here on the side. And when I first saw these, I thought they were just they're just for looks, but then I look underneath and actually can see through them. So the black top. Now this one has the privacy glass in the rear, in the soft top there. That is an option, and I'll show you that on the window sticker soon. So you can see it has the black trimmings around the outside, the fenders, the side mirror, the handles black, and the wheels. So it kind of blends in pretty good, especially in contrast with the white. Looks pretty neat. Now of course you can get a step. This one does not have the step installed. That is an option. You can see the standard. A lot of people ask me about that antenna, why they have a regular mast antenna, some vehicles, and it depends. Now this one has the soft top, and it depends on the vehicle. Sometimes this is a little bit better, especially if you're off-roading and you're in the middle of nowhere. You might be able to get a little bit better reception with this versus, say, a little shark fin somewhere or mounted into glass somewhere. Now this is very interesting to me. This is the key. So you can see it says Jeep there, and it's a pretty good, really big key actually. It's a big key. So, and look at the other side. Nothing, no buttons or anything. But this is a proximity key, and it doesn't have a button or remote, and you have to physically use this physical key, this pops out, to unlock the doors. But once you get inside, there's a push button start. So it's not as usable as a full proximity key. The only proximity part is that it has the push button start. But you still have to get the key out of your pocket to unlock the doors, which is interesting. Let's go ahead and, well, there's no panic button on here either. So I was gonna push a panic button. This one doesn't even have it. There's nothing on here, just a physical key and a huge fob. So once you use the key to unlock the door, then you can access the vehicle. Now you notice that the new Wrangler, the JL, it has just a pull. You just pull the handle, unlike the previous model in which you'd have to push a button to release it. Another thing about the JL is that the door just doesn't swing around. It actually has stop positions. Keeps the door from just swinging on you. Okay, so here is the inside of the passenger side door. So it's hard touch, soft touch here, there, and then you have the hard touch around there. And there's a net pocket at the bottom. Manually adjusted windows, manually, just roll them up and down. Manually adjusted seats, of course, that's the way all Wranglers are. And this one's cloth, black interior. You have a handle to help you get in and out of the vehicle. So hard plastics. Then you have like a rubberized handle here. Locking glove compartment. This one has the all-weather mats in place, which looks like a topographical map, which looks pretty neat, and they snap in place. The second row is accessed on the passenger side. You can see the back of the seat has a pocket there. And pull the seat forward. There's a floor mat that snaps in place, which is nice. And you have some cup holders. Has a little place for the mug handle to hang off the side, which is cool. There's some vents. And the back seat. You can see that front seat's all the way back to give you an idea of the legroom. Although the seat is quite high off the floor, it doesn't have a massive amount of legroom when you have the this front seat all the way back. But it's not bad. I think it's a little bit better than previous years. You have speakers in these roll bars here with a center dome light. I think there's actually 2 speakers in each one of these grills. So if you're counting speakers, there's 2 behind these grills, or at least there were in another one that I checked out. This is a base model. So working our way around to the back, you see the tail lights kind of stick out a little bit there on the side. Has a third brake light, soft top. And the soft top is completely different as far as how you take it out than previous years. It's much easier. And I have a video taking the top off of a Sport 4-door, so you can check that out on my channel if you like. Tag has been lowered here on the bumper with a hook. And you have a backup camera right here in the center of the tire. So that's standard now in 2018 for all vehicles, as far as I know. So open up the tailgate. Swings out quite a ways. Has a little JL graphic here, giving you some basic information. Kind of has that military style, and this looks like a cup holder to me. And there's some accessories that you can mount here on this back. I have a video showing the accessory catalog, different things that you could put there. So if you have the seats all occupied with passengers, this is your cargo space. You have some tie downs. There's a little LED light there. And then you have a 12-volt power supply. Now you notice it has a little battery on it, letting you know that it's powered even with the ignition off. So it doesn't turn on and off of the ignition. It stays on. So that's nice. This lifts up. You have a storage space that has a drain plug in the bottom, so you can, you know, put ice in here if you really wanted to and drain it out, or just drain it out if it gets water in it, like if you have the top off and it starts raining. Then you have places for your windshield, your roof, and your door hinges, the bolts for those, and an organization tray, I guess you can say. And your tools for your spare tire are located underneath this as well. Now once you take this back portion off of the soft top, you can flip over you can tumble over the back seat to add to your cargo space when needed. fuel doors here on the driver's side, and it has a traditional cap, tether, open style. So as long as you can fit the key inside the vehicle, to start it up, you just put your foot on the brake, hold it, and push this button right here. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. You can see the floor mat hooks in place just like the passenger side. And there's your accelerator and brake pedals. There's no footrest to the left. I suppose that's because they need room for a clutch pedal for manual transmissions. And there's no latch to lift the hood. So to open the hood, I like these new latches. Just pull that down like so, and you can release the little latch by pushing down like so, like that. Pull it down like that. It's easier when you're using two hands, but anyways. And now it has this little rubber piece inside there, so it's not all hard plastic. It has a little rubber piece, so this metal piece sinks down into and gets a better grip in keeping it closed while you're driving. And it's easy to cinch down. I'll show you that when we get done. So now it's just kind of hanging like so. You reach in, move it to the right. There's a little lever right here, almost a little bit to the right of center. Move it to the right and you lift it up. It does require a prop to hold it up. It's not that heavy, but it still requires a prop. And the prop is under here. So it swings down and goes right there. Like so. All right, so there's your battery, insulated firewall, and looks very similar to previous years because it has the same 3.6 liter V6, but it does have a little bit different plastic on top of it to make it look a little bit different. You see the oil filters right here on the top, right there. Easy to get to. So it's a 3.6 liter V6 paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission, and I'll leave all the specs, the volumes, the measurements, everything, horsepower, torque, you name it. It's going to be in a link in the description, so you can check that out. I'm trying to make my videos have as much information as compact as possible, so that way you can just come here and you can get everything you need for this particular vehicle, whether you watch the video in addition to, you know, following the link as well. The inside of the driver's side door is just like the other side. Exactly. It's basically a mirror. But so one thing I want to mention, right under here is a handle to help lift the door off the hinges when you take the bolts out. So when you remove the door, it's pretty neat. So manually adjusted seat here for the driver. The only difference is it has this for your height and this for a lumbar adjustment. So you turn that and adjust the lumbar, and this has like a really cool rubber grip. A lot of things, a lot of knobs and levers have a rubber grip on them. So right in here is your headlight controls with a rubber grip. Off, parking, headlight. Fog lights are turned on by pushing the center portion. Dimmer switch for your interior gauges is here, and there's your ambient lighting. You can dim that as well. And has a tilt and a telescoping steering column. You can see the articulation, and the lever is very easy to find and operate. Okay, sitting in the driver's seat, checking it out, and had the air conditioner on. And it's interesting, when you turn the fan on high and on the air conditioner, the fan on the radiator gets wide open. It is loud, but apparently it has like this beast mode fan on the radiator when you crank up the air conditioning to get that extra air flowing past the coils up there, which is kind of surprising at first. Okay, so I have the seat all the way back and all the way down, and it's a little bit, that's about right, I guess. I'm 6 feet tall, and I guess it's probably about right. Now I wish there was a footrest over here. It's just wide open, loosey-goosey. I can prop my leg up like that, but there's no footrest. Okay, so looking at the steering wheel, it's a synthetic steering wheel with a simulated leather texturing. And it's soft to the touch, very comfortable and durable feeling, and most likely very easy to clean since it's a synthetic material. Looks nice as well. Cruise controls here on the right side with the volume on the back. So you have the buttons. If you're not familiar with Chrysler products, they have the buttons on the back here. So your volume has an up and down toggle with a center button. The up and down on this side is for your volume for your radio, which is fantastic, really easy to access using your fingers back here. And then the center button cycles through your audio source. On the back side here, the up and down is to change through your tracks, like say a MP3 track or a radio station, and then the center button is to cycle through your presets, which I use all the time. These are very handy buttons. And your Bluetooth controls are here in the front with your voice recognition, and then these buttons correspond with the screen between the gauges, which we'll get to in just a minute. Windshield wiper controls are there on the right side, turn signal and headlight dimmer switch on your left side. Pretty simple gauges here. You have your RPMs here on the left side. On the right side is your speedometer, your regular speedometer. Here in the center, there is the engine coolant temperature on the left. On the top right is your fuel gauge. And the very center, you got even more information. So it's layered a little bit. Outside temperature, digital compass, which way your vehicle's facing. And in the center right now, it's showing a digital speedometer. And then at the very bottom is your odometer, how many miles the vehicle has on it, which has 3 miles, so it's a brand new one. Okay, so using these buttons, we're going to get some more information here. So let's scroll down, scroll back up. So you notice this is part of a menu system. Speedometer is part of a menu system. So scrolling down, this is number 2, vehicle info. Now in vehicle info, we can scroll to the right or left. So right now it's showing the tire pressure. Scroll to the right. So you can set temperatures and pressures, battery voltage, and then it goes back to your tire pressure. Scrolling down, this goes to your fuel economy, and you have 2 in which you can reset individually, and it gives you a range, current miles per gallon, and average, and like a bar while you're driving, just like a visual reference. Scrolling down again is your trip, and you have 2 trips, trip A and trip B. It shows you you can reset them individually. Shows you your distance traveled, average miles per gallon during that time, that distance, and the actual time it took you to travel that. Scrolling down again is your stop start. This is the readiness of that. And I'll show you how to turn that off. It's not something that I'm really excited about, but anyway, it has that feature. So this is what your radio is doing. Scrolling down, stored messages will show up right here. Scrolling down again is your screen setup. This is where you can change the things on the corners up here. So if you don't want the outside temperature, let's say you want your range, you can put that there. And then it goes back to your digital speedometer. So that's kind of a quick rundown of the information screen between the gauges. Okay, so here's your little touchscreen radio, and has a physical volume tuned through the stations buttons here. You can mute, you can turn the screen off if you want to, just tap it to turn it back on. And then you have your radio, physical buttons here, media, phone, compass, settings, and then more information here. We'll go through all of them. So right now it's showing you radio. So you have AM, FM, satellite radio. So right now it's satellite radio. It shows your presets there at the top, and then your different information here. You can adjust your audio and all that stuff. Push radio again, it cycles to AM, cycles to FM, and cycles back to the satellite radio. Push media. There's no media device available, but it has the ability to have USB 1, USB 2, auxiliary, and Bluetooth media inputs. Phone, once you pair your phone, there's no phone paired right now, but once you've paired your phone, you have access to recent calls, your phone book. You'll be able to dial here. You'll even be able to listen to text messages and respond with, made responses type thing. You can also transfer a phone call back to your cell phone if you want to have a private conversation, if there's other people in the vehicle. Pushing this button shows your digital compass. So right now we're facing west. And you go into your settings here and you can adjust different things, how long you want the lights to stay on when you turn off the vehicle, things like that. Push more. This will take you to a screen that shows your outside temperature, a clock, and a rear camera. So outside temperature, that's pretty much self-explanatory. The clock gives you a big digital clock. So if in case you're running late and need to really focus on the time, it just takes the small clock and makes it really big. I like that feature. Also, if you just want to look at the rear camera without putting it in reverse, you get to look at this high resolution backup camera here. And it still has the active guidelines as well. So as I turn the steering wheel, it will show the lines move as well. So down here is your climate control. You have your fan speed, your temperature, where you want the air to blow. Four-way flashers are here. You can recirculate the air, turn on your air conditioning. That one has no button. You have a downhill descent button. This is for off-road use only. Kind of like a cruise control, keeping you at a controlled downhill descent. Your traction control you can turn off, default will be on. Same thing with the electronic stop-start feature. It's default on. You can push that to turn it off, and that's what I would do anyway when I got in the vehicle. So yeah, the 12-volt power supply. You notice this one has the key letting you know that it turns on and off the ignition. And then you have your media inputs here with a USB-C, USB, and auxiliary inputs. And it has a cover with a rubber seal around it, so that way if you're doing some off-roading, you can keep that closed, so that way hopefully keep some of the dust and dirt out of those ports. And then you have a little storage pocket here with a removable rubber portion at the bottom to help clean it out there at the bottom. Same thing down here. It has this pretty good sized place to put a cell phone or whatever, and it has this removable cover, and it has this pattern on it. You'll see that pattern throughout this vehicle on these rubber trays, other than the floor mats. There's your four-wheel drive controls, so you can manually put it in four-wheel drive high, neutral, and four-wheel drive low. And then here's your shifter. So this one has the 8-speed automatic transmission option, and you'll see that as an ad on the window sticker, and I'll show you that in a few minutes. But it's really nice. It has a Jeep there on top, boot, really nice and bulky, good grip on it, and has a red button back here. It's pretty neat. So you can push it, put it in reverse. Typically this is when the backup camera will pop up. There's neutral, there's a drive, and then you can manually change through the gears here and bump it like a ratchet shifter to change through the gears. Typically this is to limit your high gear so you can downshift. It's your handbrake, parking brake, cup holders, and it has a place to put like business cards or whatever there in the center portion. You notice it's all open in the center, so you can utilize this space for more than just cups. And it has a removable bottom portion as well, so you can take it out and clean it and put it back in, which is nice. Okay, so here's your armrest. Soft to the touch, really soft. Has pretty good size. And it has two portions. The top portion, there's two buttons, a lower and an upper button. Let's go ahead and push the upper button, and it reveals the smaller tray here on top. And it has places for wires to exit that as well and go into the next portion. So we have to close that up and reach for the lower button, and it opens up the whole thing to access the larger storage compartment. And I wish it wasn't black in there to actually see better in there and find stuff better. If it had at least a bottom cargo, a little liner in the bottom, at least that would be a different color. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it out so you can see what it looks like. That's how big the bottom part is, but it's kind of hard to see in there. But anyways, it does have a USB port here as well. So you can charge the device, you can run the wire out of this compartment here or here, so that way it doesn't pinch the wire, so you can charge your device. Put the wire in there to charge it and keep the device out if you'd like. Rear view mirror has a manual day and night mode. The visors have like a vinyl covering over a more durable plastic underneath. Has a little clip right there. Mirror. It also extends out. You notice that's metal. A lot of them have plastic. Here's where you can unhook the front and flip back the top. That's going to be a separate video. Also have a test drive video on the new Wrangler as well. So let's look at the visibility in the back. So the headrests are down, so that's helping out. So if you put the headrests up, that's going to limit your visibility. But you'll probably have somebody in the seat if that's the case. So I think the visibility is pretty good, all things considered. Of course, now you have the backup camera helping you out with that. So, all right, last but not least, we're looking at the window sticker. All right, so you can see it's the Wrangler Sport, and shows the color, engine, standard equipment, centered equipment, interior features, exterior features, and use the pause button to get all the details you want on here. And this is where the optional equipment starts. So you have the all-weather mats, 8-speed automatic transmission, the deep tint sunscreen windows, air conditioning, and satellite radio. And look at that. Look at that destination charge. Okay, it's on there. So anyways, there's the breakdown. Starts off at $27,495, and with the options, you can get it without air conditioning, without an automatic transmission. You can get it cheaper, but that's basically the breakdown there. All right, so one thing I want to mention, up here on the dashboard has this storage compartment that you can throw some stuff in there for a quick access, like gloves or whatever's not going to be affected by being in direct sunlight for long periods of time. You can throw up there. But anyways, thank you for watching. Thank you to Vann, Underwood, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram here in Whiteville, North Carolina, for allowing me to show off another awesome vehicle. And I'll see you guys next time.